Welcome to Mind, Mood and Food podcast. I'm Margaret Bell, founder of Naturally Empowered Health, gut health expert, anti-diet coach and author of True Taste. And I'm here with my partner in crime, Adele Derbyshire.
Hello, I am the founder of Find Your Inner Sparkle. I am a yoga teacher and a spiritual teacher, and I help people to reduce anxiety, stress, and overwhelm, and to fall back in love with themselves and gain confidence. Hello, and welcome back to Mind, Mood, and Food. And this week, we are talking all about tips for life longevity. Such an interesting topic. I think everyone will be interested in this one because why wouldn't you, as long as you can live healthily, that is. I feel like I want to live a long time if I'm able, fit and well, and able to keep enjoying life. Don't want to be a burden to anyone and things like that. So what are the tips for living long but also living well?
Well, yeah, I think we mentioned in our last podcast there about overwhelm and that feeling that you've got to have a mortgage, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, and then retirement hits and you're feeling like absolute crap. What's the blooming point?
Yeah, it follows on nice from that. We'll have to
It does.
it's almost like we planned it.
Yeah, well, we've done all the doom and gloom, so this is the happy bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But life longevity, I mean, when you think about it, this is something that I very much focus on with my clients these days, because I think I'm kind of getting clients that are more my age or older. So it's something I've very much looked into and thinking, okay, yes, the likes of gut health are going to be involved in that, but what else can we do to, extend life, but also that extension of life, make it so that you can actually do what you want to do, whatever the age. So it's not just about living long, it's about being vital, happy, and continuing to be able to do the things you love for decades to come. So for me, I'd be well this chuffed if I couldn't dance anymore when I was still 60. That's just to give you an idea. But between your bodies being within the 40s and the 50s, there's a natural shift to a mode that will actually be more maintenance than growth. So we're not producing or growing anymore. Our hormones actually shift, and actual cellular functions is generally less efficient. But it doesn't mean that you can't still thrive. So if you're actually achy, tired, gaining weight, not sleeping well, this is your alarm call. And I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm waving a bell. No one can see.
No. I should have brought my bell in if I'd known, my little yoga bells.
They're actually warning signs for you. These are signals from your body to get your shit together. Because the idea of bad genes creating your destiny, it is hugely exaggerated. You can look at your family and gather useful information, but it's only the beginning, as your lifestyle choices actually have a huge impact.
Yeah, this is because I was trying to remember the name of a book I'm reading before we jumped on, and they've got some graphs in this book that talk about just that, and studies that they've done on obviously lifestyle versus genetics, and that plays a part to a certain degree, but a lot of the big shifts come from mindset, and it's how you think and what your attitude is made one of the biggest, made up the biggest difference in terms of how young you then felt and what your health was like. Because if you've got that attitude of, oh, well, I'm 75 or I'm 80 or whatever, or, whatever age you are, so, I'm I'm not expected to be able to do this, this, and the other, or I don't want to go for a walk, or
Yeah.
do you know, like if you've got that attitude, and then we'll all know people at a grand old age. Like my mom's got a friend, and he goes dancing still, and I keep saying, "Is he still going?" I won't say his name, not that he'll ever listen, but you know, he's great, and he's basically like nearly 100,
Oh,
but he goes dancing every
oh,
week. Um,
amazing.
you know, really vital, really loves life, got
Yeah,
hobbies. And so I just think, yeah, it's a lot of it's down to attitude.
definitely. And what you just said there, saying I'm 75, I shouldn't be doing this.
Mm,
Why the bloody hell not? What is stopping you doing from what you wanted to do? This
yeah,
mindset. So how you age in many ways is completely up to the individual. So what I'm going to talk about a little bit today, for a start, is, have you ever heard of telomeres at all?
telomeres.
Telomeres, yeah.
No.
I love chucking in a little bit of science that you can actually understand. Telomeres are the little caps on the end of DNA strands. You think of it like the plastic bits at the end of your shoelaces.
Mm.
That's what telomeres are.
There's a name for them as well, you know. Can't
Mm.
remember it now. There's a weird little funny name that is for that little thing on the end of your shoes. And it and it's got an actual name. Go on,
Look
you
it up.
carry on. You carry on.
But long, strong telomeres in your body indicate youth and health and actual health. Well, on the other side, if you've got short telomeres, then you're actually not going to be having such a life longevity. So when you think of it like that, what we're aiming to do is lengthen those telomeres. And there's 20 or so genes that researchers have recently identified as these longevity genes that will potentially help you to live longer. And loads of them respond to lifestyle habits. Loads of them respond to what, when, and how much you eat, how you move your body,
Mm.
how much restful sleep that you get, and how much stress you endure.
Yeah, and none of that is rocket science, is it? But
Mm-mm,
it's not easy to do on a day-to-day basis. I think that's the
no,
thing. You know, we all know that, you know, eating fruit and veg is better than eating pie and chips or whatever. But
sometimes, yeah.
yeah, well, you know, I always say everything in moderation. Um, but yes, it's not that easy to eat like that all of the time. So
Mm,
it's the same with every one of those, isn't it? It's
yeah,
we all know that stress isn't good for us, but to not get stressed is not easy. So we
yeah.
need to make sure that we're aware of each of those pillars
Mm,
and the effect that that's having on our longevity. And if we want to be vital and live longer, you know, it's a choice, isn't it?
mm,
We can say, oh God, I'm not bothered, I'm just going to smoke, like some people choose to smoke.
mm,
But you know that that's cutting your life short. It's pretty well documented and
yeah.
scientifically proven,
Mm,
but maybe not as well known that the cumulative effect of all of those things you just mentioned. You know, if we knew, or it was marketed as well, that stress was cutting your life down,
mm,
or that choosing to eat like that all of the time instead of in moderation was going to cut your life down, you know,
mm.
we would probably not do it.
Exactly. Now, one of the most important things that happens when you're taking care of yourself is that your immune system actually starts self-cleaning.
Mm.
I don't know whether you know, but it's actually called autophagy.
Lots of new words today. Speaking of new words, just while we're on this point, I did look it up, and the name for the little things on the end of shoelaces is an aglet.
Oh, heck.
Quite cute, isn't it? But the thing that I think I was thinking of is in the movie Cocktail,
Mm.
that the word flugelbinder
What the heck?
of flugelbinder was coined in the movie Cocktail to refer to aglets. So I think he kind of made up a word and then it stuck. That might
I
be what I'm
prefer
saying.
flugelbinder.
Flugelbinder, yeah. That's
Yeah.
I think that's more interesting. That's more fun, and that's what I must have been thinking of.
Yeah, the flugelbinder's on the end of your DNA strands.
Yeah, so flugelbinders, and you might remember it might stick in your mind a bit more now. You got to look after your flugelbinders.
Yeah, absolutely. So your autophagy actually kicks in on a daily basis, and this is actually when your cells digest their own cellular waste.
Ah.
Mm.
And what
So
happens if they don't digest their own cellular waste?
that waste is going
Mm.
all around. So in other words,
Toxic.
yeah, your cells clean up their own shit. And when
Mm.
this body function's working well, your body recovers faster and better. Mm.
Yeah, and all of those different strands
Yeah,
feed into that. To
absolutely.
excuse the pun about food. Yes, because you would think definitely what I eat in terms of taking good quality supplements,
Yeah.
fish oils,
Mhm.
nutrients would help something of your bodily makeup, which those flugelbinders are, makes sense. But I don't think people would think they'd make that correlation
No,
necessarily with stress.
not at all.
And then to be mindful enough and to be aware enough in the moment, like we were just talking last time about overwhelm, you're in the moment and you're just like, oh, I've got to get this done, this done. But to be able to step back, and hopefully people listening to our podcast, because they're getting that nice rounded picture,
Yeah.
will be able to step back and think, do you know what, this particular stress that I'm under today,
Mhm.
we were talking last time about perspective, is that worth 3 years off my life?
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
thought about it like that, that would be brilliant for your perspective.
Absolutely. Definitely, definitely. And I'm just going to give you a few things to focus on that are definitely worth considering. So, eating less.
Just in general. I was waiting for
Just in
I was
general.
waiting for it, Margaret, please. I was waiting for eating less chocolate, eating less
No,
pies, just
just
eating
eating
less.
less general. Because
Oh, really like eating.
after the age of 45, your body doesn't need as much food.
Oh no, Margaret,
Sorry.
46. On the
I'm
wrong side of that
47.
sentence.
Yeah, I'm 47.
What about then? Because this is we're going into one we've talked about before, but just quickly, breakfast. I think we talked. Did we talk about breakfast on one of our first podcasts?
I
I
think
feel
we
like we
possibly
did.
did.
I
Yeah.
feel like we did. But it's such a long time ago.
Mhm.
I'm sometimes I'm really hungry in the morning, and as you know, I have my Greek yogurt and my nuts and
Mhm.
seeds and things. But because I think, well, it's healthy, but sometimes I'm probably not hungry, but I eat it anyway because it's breakfast time.
Mm. That's a
So
habit.
probably just shouldn't eat it, should I, if I'm not
Yeah.
hungry that day?
Yeah.
Don't have to
Absolutely.
have it.
No, you don't.
But I don't
And
want to deprive myself if I'm hungry. So some days I'm like starving, so you would
yeah,
eat it. But if you're
yeah,
not starving, don't eat it.
yeah. Because it's basically we don't eat it as much is because our bodies aren't building
Yeah.
anymore. They're protecting and preserving, which
Mm.
requires less fuel. And recent studies have shown that reducing your intake, sorry, Adele,
Mm.
by 30%
Oh my God.
shows that you live longer and you actually avoid some age-related diseases as well.
And that fits in with the fasting.
Hmm.
If you didn't eat breakfast and you was fasting, so it's good for your body to have periods of rest, like
Yeah,
12 to 14 hours, isn't it? So
yeah. The likes of I
intermittent
often do
fasting.
it. I often do it 16-hour overnight fasting, and then
Uh-huh.
it's not so quite daunting. Just
Mm.
having your last meal around about 5 or 6, and then fasting through to about 11
Mm.
the next
Yeah,
morning. Yeah.
doable.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. And as well, cutting down on those processed carbs.
Mm. I like a carb.
But there when you think of it, there's more chance as we age that are at risk of type 2 diabetes. So just consider eating the less starchy, refined ones. So unfortunately, that biscuit that you ate before this.
Oh, Margaret, I can't believe you grassed me up. I can't believe it.
Couple less of them, you'll be fine.
That was only one.
That was only one. Yeah, yeah. And fasting is one of those small stressors that will actually stimulate your longevity genes. So I know we've talked a lot about stress, but there are certain stressors that can actually lengthen your life longevity, and not just lengthen the life longevity, but also make life better for you.
Better quality.
Better quality of life, definitely. So think about the likes of intermittent fasting. It's basically, yes, it's giving your hormones those small stressors, but at the end of the day, what it's actually doing is cleaning out your whole system. So your system's not having to think of to deal with the food that's in there. It can actually go into proper repair mode.
Yeah, and combined with stress relieving activities like yoga, meditation, breathing, along with that activity would be like a double whammy then, wouldn't it? Because if you're intermittent fasting but you're mega stressed, your body can't go into rest and digest as easily because it's dealing with that immediate threat.
Definitely. Another thing to consider is microbursts of physical energy. They again spark and stimulate this longevity gene. And what I mean by that, it can be done while you're walking uphill, while you're on a bike or swimming. Just inject regular microbursts of just intense effort. So you're working so hard that you can't talk. Because I know a lot of us exercise and we can talk at the same time. But just a couple of minutes so you can't talk. And then when you become more comfortable, you can include more bursts of it. And it is another way of literally stimulating that longevity gene.
Yeah, because I do that less now. I do less kind of like that gym type HIIT cardio. I don't like it. But when I'm walking up like Rivington with the dog, you know, and we're like going uphill and we're like, oh, can't breathe, can't talk. So that's only like weekly really. So in order to stimulate that a little bit more, you need to inject a little bit, like it's like that kind of like fast sprinting with high knees, or just they say just like 10 minutes of hits is
well, even just a couple of minutes, and then a couple of times, and then just build it up from there. It's that short microburst of stress.
Skipping. Skipping's another good one, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Short controlled microbursts of stress are literally shown to stimulate those longevity genes. So it's controlled, it's short, and it's just snappy. And the last one, which you probably hate.
I'm not like many of these, to be honest.
Cold shower at the end of your hot one.
Oh no, see, I don't mind that. I mean, I don't love it, but I actually do that. I've not done it for the last few days because it's, as we said, we're recording these and it is winter. But I do that Wim Hof style. So I have my hot shower and then try not to think about it, turn it right down onto freezing, and then try and count to like 100 or something. So it's just 1 or 2 minutes, depending on how fast I've counted.
Yeah. So that's extremely refreshing and good, as it is a light.
That's going to be lengthening my flugelbinders.
Yay!
Yeah. At least I've got one going on.
And in winter, how about stepping out just a few minutes without a coat? Just think of how warm your house will be when you step
to be fair, I'll probably do this as well, because when the dog goes out for his wee in the morning, I don't have my coat on, and he tends not to go if you don't go with him because he's a mardy bum. Get out there, and I'm like, please hurry up. But now I'm knowing that it's lengthening my flugelbinders. I won't be swearing at him quite so much.
There you go. And if if you're very lucky enough to have any washing out at any time during the winter, perfect.
Mm, not really in this country, but
No, but you never know.
you
You never
never
know.
know. You
Yeah.
never know.
hmm So hopefully they've given you all
Definitely, yeah.
some ways of, getting to life longevity. There's loads more, and there's loads more included when I work with clients, but that's just giving you a little taster of it.
Yeah, and it's like I said before, I think it's just nice to have the information and be armed with the choice. It's not to say, everybody needs to
No.
eat healthily all the time, take cold showers, do the hit every day and
Mm,
put all that pressure on yourself. But if you know, almost like you've got a little card deck, with each of these on, which wouldn't be
yeah.
a bad idea actually, would it? Little
No.
card deck with, and you
Mm,
could pick one out, right? Cold shower today. I'm going to do some hit today. Just pull one out each day, or metaphorically do that,
mhm.
hypothetically, whatever the right word is. And do one thing each day that will help.
Yeah, definitely.
Then that's going to help, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's all about, getting out of the mindset that these aches and pains are something that you've got to live with. Not at all. You can definitely do something about it.
Yeah, and motion is lotion, as the saying goes. So like
Well, yes.
moving, doing some walking, doing some yoga, doing some, swimming, whatever
Mm,
it might be, even if you're like, oh, I'm a bit tired or this, that, and the other, just pushing yourself to do that bit of physical activity each
yeah.
day, that is 100% going to help. There's
Yeah.
there's no two
hmm
ways about it. That
Yeah.
there's obviously time that you need to rest, and if you're poorly and all that kind of thing, yes, listen to your body, but at the same time, don't just go and
No.
fall into that pattern of just sitting in a chair, because sitting is a new smoking.
Oh
And
God,
we
yeah.
sit a lot when we work, like we sit in our
hmm
corporate cubicles or at our desk at home working. And that's bad enough. But when you retire, when you don't even have that job, you just probably people tend to sit even more, just sat in front of
Mm,
the telly. So go dancing, go swimming, go walking, go hiking, whatever it might be that you find an activity that you like, that you love, and just keep doing it.
yeah. And definitely keep on asking yourself, what would my future self thank me for?
Mm,
Mm.
and ask yourself how long your flugelbinders are.
Oh, that's going to be our favorite word from now on.
I think
Flugelbinders.
Um, the topic of this one should be called "What are flugelbinders?"
Flugelbinders. Oh.
You need to get cleverer at naming these so it generates interest.
What are your Flugelbinders? Yep,
Where are
definitely.
your flugelbinders?
Well,
On the end of your, I don't know. Right. Thank you very much, Margaret. That was brilliant. I've should have been making notes, but I'll listen to it back. Take some notes. Thank you so much. If you
Thank
have
you.
enjoyed this, then as always, we would love you to like and subscribe. So subscribing doesn't cost you anything. It just means that you'll find out when we post, when we do a new podcast. We do release them every fortnight. And so you will get to know when they come out. And we would love to hear from you. So let us know, what was your key takeaway today? What are you going to start doing? And get in touch with us through all the usual places, social channels. Thank you, Margaret, and we will see you all again next time on the podcast.